We need more desk.
Yeah, we tabled that discussion, remember? I gotta go back to it. I didn't mean to make a joke.
It's a good one, though.
No pun intended.
No. Let the record state. She tabled the desk.
I tabled the discussion. Due to extenuating circumstances.
All right. Well, let's say hi.
Okay.
In
3, sir.
1. In 3, 2. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Hartley.
And we are here to talk about a play?
Yes.
We kind of have disappeared for a little bit because of COVID. You gross.
Ew, gross.
And
COVID / your white knight syndrome.
I didn't have white knight syndrome. It was legitimate.
It was.
It was legitimate.
I concede.
But yes, I needed to tend to family things for a while, so we had to disappear. Or I had to disappear. I had to go into quarantine, and
You were removed from the house, sir.
Yeah.
Barred, banned, dismissed.
So now we're back, and we had been talking about beforehand, like what we're gonna do next. Like, I think we got a video on Scarlet Letter we're gonna do at some point just to talk about it.
Yeah.
And we had thrown around the idea of doing some Shakespeare
Yes.
because you almost have, if you're going to talk about the classics, Shakespeare has to be in on that discussion. Like, he can't be left out. So
Willie T.
yeah. So since high school saw fit that I got the Romeo and Juliets and the Hamlets and the Macbeths already out of the way, and I'm sure we can talk about those at some point, I might almost refuse to ever talk about Romeo and Juliet on camera, but
It would be boring because we would both just be complaining about it.
the entire time. Mm-hmm.
Because I have a disdain, despite having taught it for...
Yeah. It's not fun for either of us.
What?
So...
It would just be a trash talk.
So I deferred to your greater experience and wisdom in choosing which play we would view then speak about, and your first choice was Much Ado About Nothing.
Right.
So I will let you take command of this discussion and come this way, since you know all about the Shakespeare and I know all about pissy teenagers.
Do you? Do you know all about pissy teenagers?
I know all about pissy teenagers, but I'm going to let you take this one.
All right. So, as the title implies, the play is mostly a bunch of fuss about nothing at all. Misunderstandings, lack of communication, and girls thinking they're smarter than boys and boys thinking they're smarter than girls.
Ooh, can I try? Can I try?
Sure.
This story is about two brothers. These two brothers aren't very nice to each other. One is legitimate, thus for favored. The other one's a bastard, thus for non-favored, so he's a kind of a shitty person. And without either of those two brothers, this story would not exist in the realm that it exists in.
It's fair. Although Don Juan doesn't feature, in my opinion. I mean, he's the villain, but
like I said, he's the plot device that's keeping the story, that's giving the story teeth. Because otherwise, it would just be a rom-com.
I mean, it kind of is just a
I mean,
rom-com.
well, see, that's what changes it in my mind a little bit, is that there is this brother who's a douche nozzle. Or Jack Nozzle, whatever we call him.
Jack Nozzle.
Jack Nozzle.
Douche canoe.
He is a Jack Nozzle. And, can't let anybody just be happy because I'm a bastard.
Yeah.
And, sows discontent amongst a group of friends where there was already an intriguing little bit of discontent. Now, had there not been more to fuel that, I feel like the story wouldn't have been nearly as interesting.
Well, I mean, there had to be conflict of some kind.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll let you go back to it now.
No, I mean, that was it. I was
done. But no, like, we watched it.
We did. We watched it.
Because plays are meant to be watched.
That is my philosophy.
And we watched the was it David Tennant and
Catherine Tate
version, which was just delightful.
I believe 2015, one of the London stages.
Yeah, I giggled, I laughed out loud, I sulked.
You sulked.
I did. I sulked at the end. I felt just a little bit melancholy. A little bit
For the prince.
For the prince. That dude.
Yeah.
It's hard not to feel for him.
Yeah.
He's just like,
Don Pedro.
I would come sweeping into town with, my chosen brothers, and, we're this and we're that, and, oh, you want this girl? I'm gonna help you get this girl, and, oh, we got this girl, and, oh, Beatrice, will you marry me? No? Okay, I forget that I asked. I'm sorry. I'm gonna come over here and smoke another cigarette and drink beer. And then at the end, and the actor did it so well. I don't know who played him in this.
I don't know.
But like everybody's dancing, having a good time, and he's just off to the side by himself with a rueful grin on his face.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
With that look in his eyes of, I've seen to it that my two friends have found their happiness. When might I find mine?
Benedict told him to get thee a wife.
It doesn't just happen like that.
I did for the other two.
Well, that's because the creator wanted him to.
Yeah. So probably it's not as clear in this particular version, but they are returning from war.
Yeah.
And they had stopped there on their way to war, and the war was against Don John, like against his brother, who was trying to seize power. So now that he had defeated him and accepted his, surrender, they're returning from the war. He has his brother with him because keep your enemies close, and of course he betrays him again. So it gets a little.
Yeah, that's the setup for the whole everything. Like, Beatrice would not be so salty had Benedict
not
just run off.
Not
up in RUNNOFT. So, like I said, the two brothers is the cornerstone of the entire story.
Okay, fair enough. Need I ask who your favorite character is?
Probably not. I mean, it's not Benedict.
Then it's the prince.
It's the prince.
Then it's the prince.
It's the prince. He I don't know. It's because and again, this probably is heavily influenced by the play that we watched. It wasn't just I read something on a page and this is how I felt. Like I got to see a human person kind of give those nonverbal cues, those that body language to show that what their true intent is. And because he's such a open book. He really is. He's an open book. Like, he's there doing his princely thing. He's helping one friend, then he helps another friend. And everything he does is to see to the people around him their happiness, you know? Like every decision, even when he chooses to stand with Claudio in the church and deny Hero, like he's doing that out of his sense of honor and to help and to be there for his friend, you know?
Well, I mean, he was duped just as surely as Claudio was. He thought he knew what he saw, and he was trying to have his friends back, I guess.
But, you know, so he was loyal. You know, he wants people to be happy. He's loyal, and he'll sacrifice kind of his own happiness and put himself in perilous positions for that loyalty, you know? Because even when he was proven wrong, he stood with Claudio, you know? When Claudio was going to marry the cousin, he stood with Claudio, you know? And so it just, and again, the actor played him.
I do think that has a lot to do with it. That is my favorite version. That's my favorite version of the play that I showed you, but that is my favorite Don Pedro.
Yeah, Don Pedro.
The more traditional version, he's played by Denzel Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And he does a really good job. But
it's Denzel.
Yeah. But it's not as vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sense of vulnerability that you see with the actor in this particular version is just, it's not there.
Yeah.
And then there is another one that's black and white that is an updated setting one, and it's done by Josh Whedon. It's very artistic. It's actually filmed all in his house, like one of his houses. It's a little more risque.
Are there space cowboys?
No.
Dang it. I was hoping for more Firefly.
No. But the prince in it is you don't really get that sense of vulnerability either. So like I think that had I shown you one of the other versions, that might not have been your favorite character. But that's why I say plays are meant to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was of the 3 versions that are primarily shown, the only one that is on a stage.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of important.
Oh, yeah. No, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, Don Pedro. Don Pedro is my favorite. The prince is my favorite. The rightful prince, not that bastard Don Juan.
Don John. Benedict's my favorite.
Yeah. Because of course he is.
Because of course. Yeah, because he's snarky and fun.
Oh yeah, he's great.
And clever and quippy. And because in the version I showed you, he's played by David Tennant. And of course, the Doctor's my favorite.
Of course.
Although I do like Catherine Tate.
Well, David Tennant kind of steals the show, you know.
Yeah, me too.
When he's on stage, even when he's hiding on stage,
your eye goes
straight to him.
He knows just how long to hold an expression on his face to get like the premium amount of laugh out of it.
Oh yeah, that goofy smile he's got. That he just flashes it to everybody. It's great. He's great. Like if had it not been for Don Pedro's vulnerability in that one, you know, I would have been David Tennant, and had he not done it right at the end, like so it's a fresh reminder that, you know, his love is a little bit unrequited, even amongst his friends.
He's the odd man out.
Yeah, like had it not been for that reminder right at the end, I'd have probably said Benedict.
what is the expression? Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yeah. So yeah, like,
yeah,
there was that.
I mean, it's probably also equally clear who your least favorite character is.
Who do you think that is?
Well, I mean, there's the villain.
Nope,
not the bastard. Who's your least favorite?
Because bastards are bastards, and expecting bastards to be anything other than bastards is just bastardry.
All right.
And I can say that.
Too far, sir. Too far.
I'm sorry. Had to throw that jab in there. It is a jab at myself, but... Claudio.
Claudio's your least favorite?
Claudio's my least favorite. Yeah.
His fickle ass.
That's nicer than I would have said it. I don't know, like... He of course, you know, you think you find the love of your life. You go to your friends at some point after meeting this angelic being and say, hey, I think I met the one. Conversation that every person has when they think they met that one person. Right? And of course you want your friends to like them, and you want your friends to this, you want your friends to that. But Claudio at all times is so dadgum needy, so dadgum codependent, can't operate by himself. I feel like if it wasn't for Benedict and the prince, Claudio would not find his pants in the morning.
Well, they did say that he was young.
Yeah.
It's pointed out that he is a lackbeard, meaning a youth. They said that in battle he did the feats of a lion while being a lamb. Like, so he is probably speculatively in his early to mid 20s, where the other two are probably in their mid 30s.
Oh yeah.
So he is immature.
That and his biggest decision that just, and I know it just bugs me because it's something like it's something how I feel personally. And I get you don't make this decision in a play because drama. But one, I would not have confronted my betrothed at the altar. If I would have thought I saw another man with my fiance, my buddies aren't holding me back. I'm not a lamb anymore. I'm not a lion. I'm a chimera, and I'm here to kill. I want that. They're violence. I will do a violence.
I think what he wanted was the ultimate, like...
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Reveal.
Like I get why in the scope of the play it had to be the way it had to be. But it just makes me feel like Claudio's a little bit of a bitch.
A little bit.
But yeah, that's my lead. I mean, and he's charming. Every other instance, says the right things. Like it's hard to hate him the whole time.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
but
I'm not a fan of him.
Bitch tendencies.
That's not my biggest problem with him. Bitch tendencies. One, Shakespeare tends to rely pretty heavily on the love at first sight trope. And this is no different. Like, I appreciate Benedict and Beatrice for the fact that it's clear they had a previous relationship. Like, it might not have gone well, and that's why they snipe at each other, but they spent some time together, you know, before. And she even says, you know, she must have been writing him letters because or they talked before he left, because she says she promised to, even though it's hateful, she promised to eat all of his killings. So I don't enjoy that there's just this like insta romance that happens between the two of them. When he thinks for 1 second, he gets told by one person that the prince is wooing for himself and not for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he just immediately doubts his friend. There's no loyalty. There's no
he doesn't have any of that
trust.
bottom that the other two guys have.
Yeah, he just immediately is like, well, screw it. You know, he's the prince and he's going to get what he wants. And I guess he has my girl.
Mm-hmm.
Which, first of all, like he says in that moment, like, let lovers woo with their own tongues. And I'm like, yeah, you should have done that before.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know whose bright idea. Actually, I do. It was the prince's. It was the prince's bright idea to pretend to be him and to woo in his name.
Yeah.
But
Claudio's one of those guys that around here we would say is all hat, no saddle.
Yeah.
Now, it seems that, you know, in the thick of it, in a war, Claudio's got some balls. But in the arena of love,
yep.
He's
yeah.
He's a little less than.
And not to mention his obsession with virginity, like, pisses me off. That I'm not going on that feminist tear. I'm not doing it. It's everybody knows. If you've seen the play, if you've read the play, everybody, you know.
Yeah.
So, my least favorite is actually the dad, Leonidas. Is that right? Leonardo.
Leonidas.
Sorry.
Is this Sparta?
Yes, this is Sparta. I want to kick him just like that. But basically for the same reason that you dislike, or that I dislike Claudio. To me, like, he doesn't even stop to ask his daughter, like, what happened? Like, why maybe is there this misconception? Like, even later, he's like, well, I think she's innocent. But right there in that moment, he's like, oh, the honorable men have spoken. You must be a whore. Why did I ever love you? Better that you should die right now than live not a virgin.
Yeah. While I can agree that why he did the screaming hollering wasn't the best idea, like his motivation was off, like showing that same initial visceral reaction, you know, is real. But again, like the reason why is off.
Like, Benedict's reaction to the whole thing is the only one that him and the priest are the only two that I have any respect for in that situation. Because they at least stop and go, and like, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why do you think that they're thinking this? Like, who do you think the guy is they think they saw you with?
And thank God for the idiots in the play.
Yeah.
If it were not for the idiots,
Dogberry and his group of constables.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not for them, this would suck.
Well, that's the irony, right?
Yeah, this would be a tragedy, not a...
That the morons were the ones that could see and the intelligent ones are the ones that are blind.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate Shakespeare's sense of humor sometimes.
Let it be recognized
that you are an ass.
That I'm an ass. Better believe that's a monologue this guy's gonna learn. It's just scream at the top of the mountaintops like
that you're an ass.
Someone's gonna call me an ass. I'm gonna turn around and look and be like, "Did you write down like?" And then just go on that whole spiel.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be up here sometime. But
him and his malapropisms.
Yeah.
That's one of those that's actually easier to get when you're reading it. like it's fun to hear someone perform it, but when you're reading it, you can actually see like that they're using the wrong word.
Mm-hmm.
That he's using a word that incorrectly in the wrong context.
Yeah.
So,
But,
all right. Favorite part, maybe?
Well, I would have to say when the bees, Benedict and Beatrice, the bees, B and B, finally are exposed
With their letters at the end.
and get to and say how they feel without any other plot hanging over their head. Because you have moments where their honesty is kind of breaking through the cracks, you know?
Are you talking about right? Are you saying when they confess their love in the church, or are you saying when they are talking at the end with the letters?
Yeah, with the letters.
Okay.
Like you see parts kind of go through slip through the cracks, and they'll say something to kind of see how the other one reacts, and neither one of them's going to give the other the satisfaction of giving them the outright answer that they want to hear. They're both too smart and snarky for that. So, and then when some true emotion starts coming out, it's right after the failed wedding, and I got the feeling that Beatrice was only surrendering to the lesser, emotion she felt, which was her love for Benedict, to fuel her anger, which was her primary motivator for Claudio. So because even though she knew there was a plan, the plan was already in effect.
Yeah.
The plan was already going through. She knew that if there was a way for her cousin to be vindicated, and she still chose to be man angry and go kill. If you love me, go kill him.
Yeah, that's why she can't be my favorite for that specific scene. That one moment in that scene, she can't be my favorite. When
there's no other plot hanging over their head. We've worked out this thing between Claudio and Hero. We've that's no longer, Benedict doesn't have to kill Claudio anymore.
Shouldn't have had to kill Claudio in the first place.
There's no plot hanging over their head, and he's like, "Will you marry me?" And she's just like, "No." And then the letters, and then they're, all right, like let's stop being stupid. They say words to each other.
I'll take you.
Yeah, I'll have you.
But I do it for pity.
Yeah.
But by this light, I do it for pity.
So that's my when they finally can be their special brand of candid to each other. It's like, thank God.
When he tells her to shut up and
yeah,
smacks her mouth with his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My favorite part.
Mine's either that or the very beginning, just because I like their banter. The very beginning when he comes in, he says, "Oh, what Lady Disdain, like, are you yet living?" And she says, "How could I die when I have such meat as you to eat?" Like, that whole back and forth is hilarious and delightful to me. So either that or the ending. Although I think I probably watched the ending of that play like 16,000 times because I do love that version and I do love that scene.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's good.
It's good. You were going to rate it. You want to give it a hawk feather rating?
I will say that because of how easy it was to get into the story and to have fun, to go up and go down and go up and go down, and like it was a pleasure from beginning to end. I will give it 4 out of 5. Like, I enjoyed the play. I especially enjoyed the performances that I watched. It'll probably make me want to watch a couple other versions at some point.
Yeah.
I'll definitely give the book a read through to see the little things that I missed out on, because they are delivering this stuff at stage voice, and it's coming quick.
Yeah.
So there's a thing here or a thing there that I probably didn't catch that's much easier to do with the paper in front of you. So, but it was good enough that I was like, all right, I'll watch other versions of this. I'll read the book. Like, that for me means the play is a pretty big success. Like, there are others where you're just like, oh, okay, that was nice. But then you really don't ever think about it again,
Pirates of Penzance.
I don't know what you're talking about. But, so yeah, it's a 4 out of 5 for me.
I would say it's a 5 out of 5 for me. I like this one. This one's probably my favorite Shakespeare play. Like, of the comedies, I would rank this one my favorite. Midsummer's maybe second, which is the other one that I'm having you read or watch, I suppose, because plays are meant to be watched.
I think we got that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it was good. It was fun.
I mean, it's Shakespeare. There's definitely some holes in the plot. He's not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again,
that's not his strong suit. We forgive him for the holes.
You think about Shakespeare because of first dialogue and second interesting stories in interesting places. Like, his plays are always somewhere crazy different from each other. Denmark, Italy, Rome. Back when
Venice.
Like,
yeah.
He never chooses. He's never stilted. He never chooses the same story to tell twice. I mean, that's not true, but typically he doesn't choose the same story to tell twice. Like, it's always in a different place, always with different characters. Like, there are formulas to Shakespeare.
Okay.
Don't look at me with your English degree so snidely. From my experience.
Don't look at you with my English degree.
Mm-hmm. I mean, your English degree is staring at me.
With my liberal arts attitude.
Mm-hmm. I'm too stupid for that. It's wasted on me.
None of his source material is very original.
Well, I didn't say it had to be original.
It's and he does tell the same story over and over in some sense.
And I said there is a formula to Shakespeare.
Okay. We would have another 30 minutes on this video if we get into that.
And I don't have all the tools for that yet, so you're going to have to give me some time.
Fair enough.
So until then, I'll keep reading.
Okay. I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I see that you are unarmed.
But I got 2. It doesn't work.